When Allie Mae was a little girl, a big question haunted her.
Why am I in a wheelchair? Why?
As the years unfolded, she made a vow.
Never give up. That's all, really.
Her smile is one of the first things you notice about Allie. It's stunning, and her family says her attitude matches.
Allie, she doesn't focus on the things that she can't do at all.
She comes home, does all her homework, and she does everything without complaining, and she's a trooper.
We were considered ourselves very, very lucky that Allie was as strong as she was.
As a newborn home from the hospital,
Her brothers were just in awe of her.
no one had any idea what her future held.
At first, everybody's like, oh, she's just a slow walker, she'll catch up, she'll be fine.
She did a lot of couch walking and climbed up on things and did everything a normal kid did, except for she never stood on her own without hanging on to something.
I remember the day. She was diagnosed November 12th, 1997, and she was 60 months old.
John and Maren May learned their daughter had spinal muscular atrophy, SMA.
And it was devastating. Everything changes really quickly.
This home video of Allie taking a few wobbly steps when she was 3 was so unusual, her dad grabbed the camera to record the moment. SMA causes weakening and wasting of muscles in the arms and legs of children.
If you're diagnosed with SMA as an infant, your life expectancy isn't very long, probably less than 2. So Allie was kind of like in the middle, and it was hard to know, I think really for the doctors to be able to give us any kind of answer.
Try to give her the best that we can do, but there's some things that we can't control what her health is going to be like.
Throughout her life, several things have helped Allie fit into the world around her. First, a motorized wheelchair. She was one of the youngest people to ever drive one.
I remember being at Disney World, and you know how crowded Disney World can be. And she's in this little tiny wheelchair, and she's zipping in and out of traffic.
Second, her parents built a new house with 1 level and wide spaces in Grant, Minnesota. Third, Allie has a service dog.
Stuart, get it. Bring it. Oh, good boy. Stuart really helps me out with just getting pencils, anything that drops on the floor.
Fourth, and it might put the biggest smile on her face yet, summer camp.
It's fun to be with friends who are also in wheelchairs.
We're together all the time, and I know she loves her family, but she's going to be a teenager, and she doesn't want her mom or dad there all the time.
Allie thought long and hard before sharing the story of her life in such a public interview.
I don't really like being the center of attention, and I didn't want people to feel sorry for me, but if I could educate others to know more about the disease, then that's why I kind of wanted to do it.
Allie wants to dispel some myths about her disability.
Little kids will come up to me like, oh, you're so lucky, you're in a wheelchair, you don't have to walk, you don't get tired. And I'm like, no, I'd rather get tired than having to be in a wheelchair.
Her parents, who bathe, dress, and turn her at night, want people to know SMA is a physical disease. Like most children with SMA, Allie developed a curve in her back and needed spinal fusion surgery.
That was one of the biggest fears of mine, was going through that surgery.
But they stress SMA is not a mental disease. Allie's an A student and has the report card to prove it. She's also routinely beating her brother, Jono, at board games.
Winner!
Jono confided she can be an annoying little sister.
Yeah, Allie pulls the pranks on me with her friends.
Winner! He's annoying too.
When they got married nearly 17 years ago, John and Maren didn't know about SMA or that it was hereditary.
Because we're both carriers, any of our children would have a 1 in 4 chance of having SMA.
If I wasn't a carrier, she wasn't a carrier, the line is broke. So the odds of 2 carriers meeting and having a family and having kids, they get way astronomical.
While no cure has been found, progress has been made. When Allie was a baby, she needed a muscle biopsy to be diagnosed. Now a simple blood test can be used, but more research needs to be done.
I don't know, even if they do find the cure, if Allie would be able to help Allie, but it would help other people coming through like we were 10 years ago.
As she's getting bigger, she's becoming weaker. So that's kind of like the progression of the disease. Kind of scary, you don't know exactly over time what function she may lose.
If you try to look too far out, it'll drive you crazy.
I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything.